Intro music. Wow, wow, wow. All right, it's done. We're taping this. It's not live, so we have to pretend like stuff just happened. What? Are you pressing buttons over there? I can see your finger. Delco, I can see your finger. What are you doing? He's ready. Dakota, say something.
What?
He was fucking on you before you even spoke, bro. Delco is on it today. Giorgio's over there. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I don't know how high you are or not. Whatever you need to get there. All right. Tomorrow's the last Austin FC home game, right?
We fly high.
Have they won a home game yet?
Who cares?
They won the one I went to 2-0, but they have not won many of them.
Yeah. I mean, it's year one. Our buddy Marshall Newhouse is commentating for them. It's pretty dope. He's a football player.
I know Marshall Newhouse.
A real football player.
Yeah, I know him. Plays for the Patriots.
Played.
Well,
last year was the Titans. I don't think he played at all this year, or hasn't yet.
I had him on the way or front towards the enemy.
Yeah, I don't think he probably won't play again because I'm sure he wants to get rid of all that extra weight. If you're an offensive lineman, you have to carry around so much extra weight. I'm sure he's tired of that horse shit by now.
Really?
His normal, like he's what, 6'4", 6'5", something like that. His normal body weight is probably like 240, but he has to keep it around 300 for that job. It sucks. Anyways, speaking of sucking, you know who really sucks?
Facebook.
It's one of the most evil organizations. I'm sorry, Meta. Pardon me, guys. Apologies all around. I like how somebody actually strung together. Can you find that video of Zuckerberg just saying "Sweet Baby Ray's" over and over again, and somebody else find the picture that he took announcing Meta, and there's a "Sweet Baby Ray's" thing on the back. A lot of people gave him a lot of guff about why in the hell does he have this fancy-ass background set up and he's got a bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's on it? Apparently the dude is super into Sweet Baby Ray's. I don't know if he owns part of the company. It seems like a weird investment for a guy that's like worth $200 billion.
Dude, I don't even know what a Sweet Baby Ray is.
It's fucking barbecue sauce. And it's fine. It's not great. It's not terrible, but it's decent.
It's pretty bad, I think.
Yeah, it's like $1.90.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the Pepsi of barbecue sauces, basically.
What's wrong with Pepsi?
Well, you're from Kentucky, so you probably like Pepsi. Did you guys ever pour like peanuts into the Pepsi and then drink it? That's a
Southern thing.
That's a Southern thing.
No.
Yeah, it's gross. Anyways, if you guys whenever you find it, let me know because I think it's really funny. A lot, yeah. See, is that up on screen right now? So that's the stage where he announced Meta, I guess, but that must be in his house because that's definitely Sweet Baby Ray's. There's a video of him. And it's that where he was using the egg, whatever the fuck. I can't remember what the name of that smoker is. The green one that looks like an egg.
It's just called the green egg.
The green egg.
Yeah. It's actually a pretty dope smoker, but he got made fun of quite a bit for that a couple, like 6 months ago or something when he was barbecuing in his backyard. But apparently, one of the things that we skipped over at the time that at least I didn't notice is that he is like really into Sweet Baby Ray's. Did he grow up poor or something? Or is it just like...
I don't know, but that is the flavor of the pour. Like something so powerful that you can mask anything.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Play the video.
Well, here's the problem. He grew up in, like, upstate New York or something.
Oh, yeah, well...
What do you mean the problem?
Not upstate, but white. The problem is that they don't know shit about barbecue.
Well,
Yeah.
hold on. First off, like you guys are all over the fucking map here. Okay, so it's Poor People Barbecue. It's Pepsi Barbecue. It's a Southern thing. And then you find out that he's in New York and you're like... Well, that's the problem too. Like he doesn't know.
None of it makes sense.
None of it does.
And that's the problem. It's like Zuckerberg is reading a book about how to be a human being. He's an alien, and he's like, "What do human beings do?"
Zuckerberg's an alien now.
I mean, look at this video.
People have thought he's an alien. Yeah, watch this.
What are you guys making for dinner? Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, I hope. Delicious. But hopefully for Canadian Thanksgiving, you get to eat a lot of Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce.
That's cut. That's not real.
That is going on the ribs.
Sweet Baby Ray's.
Sweet Baby Ray's. The Sweet Baby Ray's. Sweet Baby Ray's is very good. Sweet Baby Ray's. Sweet Baby Ray's. We have just applied the Sweet Baby Ray's. Sweet Baby Ray's. Sweet Baby Ray's. Maybe throw some Sweet Baby Ray's on the ribs and.
So some of this is edited. You can cut that. Some of it is edited, but he said sweet in that hour-long or so video that they made. I don't even think it was that long. He said Sweet Baby Ray's at least 6 or 7 different times.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can tell from the scenery that it's multiple times. What the fuck is going on with
Never
this guy?
has Sweet Baby Ray's made someone so happy. Can you cut back to his face again? Wow. What? How? Who?
It's because he's an alien. He's been eating fucking meteorites for the last 6 billion years he's been alive, and all of a sudden he gets introduced to the shittiest barbecue sauce known to man. If you want good barbecue sauce, there are so many other ways you can go, right? You can make your own, dude. You just need like honey and brown sugar and fucking, I mean, it's a pretty...
I mean, the guy likes Sweet Baby Ray's. Who gives
He doesn't
a
like
fuck?
it. No, somebody that has that much money that's still eating $2 a bottle Sweet Baby Ray's, that's a problem.
Why?
Can we talk about the other sketchy thing going on here?
What's the...
Why is the Sweet Baby Ray's on a random bookshelf?
Yeah, not even like, I mean, that's the part that makes me think he's an alien. Like, this will throw him off the trail.
Are they
Sweet
is
Baby
big
Ray's.
Sweet Baby Ray's just product placement money? Like
I mean-
Zuckerberg?
I mean,
What's the pitch to Zuckerberg? Like, hey, I know you're worth like $220 billion, but we'll give you $15,000 to put this fucking jar of barbecue sauce in your shelf.
They have to have some dirt on them or something.
Imagine that. Sweet Baby Ray's is like it's an arm of the CIA or something, or the NSA. They've been collecting.
I mean, dude, if I ever became rich, I would still eat the same shit that I eat today. Like, why? Like, you wouldn't change what the fuck you eat just because you had a shit ton of money. Like,
I'm not going to start eating caviar and shit because it's nasty. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
but like,
But I
dude,
do
if
eat a
like-
higher quality meat. I don't go to prime meat anymore. I get Wagyu meat now, right? For the most part.
Really?
Sometimes prime, yeah, but it depends on the cut. Sometimes Wagyu doesn't matter. It's like organic fruits and vegetables. Sometimes it matters and sometimes it doesn't. If it's like a strawberry, if it's something with seeds, typically it's not that big a deal. But if it's something that's water bearing, you definitely want to get organic if you can, because otherwise it's going to have a bunch of pesticides and shit in it. You know what I mean? So,
bro, out of all the shit you put in your body, you start worrying about pesticides.
yeah, because I know over time, right?
Out of all the shit you put in your body, you're worried about like.
Yeah, psilocybin is not going to make me have fucking diabetes, motherfucker, or cancer. There's no link between mushrooms and cancer.
Listen.
Anyways, so the Raymonds, it's Dave and Larry Raymond. They own Sweet Baby Ray's, or did at least. They sold the business in 2005. It was doing about $30 million a year at the time.
That's
so
pretty good.
they probably sold it for about $150 million, somewhere around there. Not bad.
Dude, Sweet Baby Ray's. I mean,
But they're out of Chicago. Now, that's the part that confuses me, because what the fuck does Chicago know about barbecue?
dude, barbecue's like
Chicago
Sweet Baby Ray's
know-
is good.
No, it's not.
I thought it was classy.
Chicago knows pierogies, Polish sandwiches. They know deep dish pizza.
Deep dish pizza.
Wings,
for sure, yeah.
wings in Chicago are really good, but they're not really known for barbecue, right? What are they? I mean,
they're also known for like Beetlejuice.
well, she's the mayor of Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the same thing though.
Well, it's close.
Well, I did watch Beetlejuice at Jesse's house for Halloween the other day, so that was pretty dope.
What'd you dress up as?
Sociopath.
Yeah,
That's a joke from what movie? Anybody?
Don't know.
Addams Family. Wednesday Addams said they look like everybody else. Right. Come on, this joke is from 1993, when all of you assholes were growing up.
Dude, I was 5.
I was 2.
I get made fun of for not having seen the
You're
Goonies.
old as fuck.
Yeah.
Dude, you're fucking old.
Well, you can't do math, so you don't know. You're just counting on them being correct about this.
What do you mean?
I mean,
I know how old I am.
How old are you?
33.
Well, you're almost past Jesus.
Well, I mean, this is my Jesus year.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
live up to the expectation. Anyways, we're talking about Facebook today. We're going to talk about this outrage algorithm. Now, sometime, I think it was about 3 or 4 months before the election last year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but some data came out about the way that Twitter was funneling traffic, and they were intentionally putting posts in front of people in the Explore feed and then et cetera that would piss people off. And then it got to the point near the election where they were intentionally stifling certain hashtags.
Oh, yeah.
And were curating the list of trending topics instead of just letting the algorithm do it. So they faced a lot of accusations. And over the last couple of months, 6 months or so with the Facebook papers and blah, 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 and all this other shit, we've come to realize that not only is Facebook doing the same, which we knew they were doing, but they're doing it at a level that nobody else is even close.
Yeah.
Right? It's because of the multitude of ways you can react to something on Facebook. I mean, you can view it, you can skip it, you can passively watch it, you can like it, you can dislike it, blah, 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 right? There's just a lot of options. So 5 years ago, Facebook added 5 new ways for users to react to posts in their news feed. Love, wow, laugh, sad, angry. Those are all the emotions, right?
Yeah.
Maybe hungry or horny.
What's horny? Is that like a unicorn?
Yeah.
Like unicorns?
So along with the original like reaction, the new emoji reactions were integrated into the algorithm Facebook uses to determine what appears in people's news feeds. Starting in 2017, Facebook's algorithm weighted emoji reactions as 5 times more valuable than likes, pushing posts with a higher number of emoji reactions higher in the news feeds of users. So instead of liking something, you would get 5 times more weight in the algorithm if they loved it or hated it or made them sad or whatever the fuck, right? So the company added this feature due to the fact that posts that prompted a high amount of emotional reactions were more likely to keep users engaged, and keeping users engaged was a key to Facebook's success. Researchers at Facebook soon pointed out that favoring controversial posts could have the unintended side effect of increasing the amount of spam, clickbait, or abusive posts on the platform. Now, this is the 2016 election where all the bots were posting a bunch of random nonsense, right?
Yeah.
Facebook's algorithm relies on opaque machine learning techniques to generate its engagement predictions, but according to Noah, a math professor at Bentley University, never heard of Bentley University, at the end of the day, there's one number that gets predicted, one output, and a human is deciding what that number is. So it's an algorithm meant to generate one number based on behavior that weighs one post over another one, right?
Yeah.
In 2019, Facebook's data scientists confirmed that posts that garnered a high number of, quote, angry, end quote, reactions were being posted in news feeds and were more likely to include misleading or inflammatory information. So basically, to simplify this, let's say you're a liberal, they would misrepresent a conservative position on something, like all Republicans think this. Can you believe Republicans did this? And then serve it constantly to liberal people. So they would react angrily to it, which means then they fucking share it to their friends. Can you believe so-and-so said that, or that they believe this? And it's this whole fucking self-licking ice cream cone cycle of misinformation that
So this is
the left constantly accuses the right of doing this, but Facebook is they're the fucking CEO of doing
dude,
this shit.
this is so you know where they get this from. You know why they're doing this, right?
They get it from Russia, actually.
Well, they get it from reality TV.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
I mean,
for
this
sure,
is the same shit that producers on reality TV do to keep the fucking reality TV going.
Yeah, and by Facebook's own admission, now that we have the quote-unquote Facebook papers, by their own admission, and this has been an internal debate at the company for five plus years now, the algorithm inadvertently undermined the efforts of their Facebook's content moderators and their quote-unquote integrity teams, which sounds dystopian, who are working to limit the amount of content on the platform they consider to be toxic or harmful. Facebook spokesman Danny Lever addressed the concerns by saying the following, quote, "We continue to work to understand what content creates negative experiences so we can reduce its distribution. This includes content that has a disproportionate amount of angry reactions, for example," which means Facebook has at least looked into the idea of filtering content by the reaction it garners and then pushing it off the platform entirely, right? So let's just say, for example, if you were the DNC or the RNC, and there was a particular piece of information out there that kept getting shared in memes or posts or a news article or whatever it is, you can write a script or a bot or hire a click farm in fucking Bangladesh to go angry face all of those fucking posts and wipe them off the platform, right? Now, what do you do in that situation if you're Facebook? I mean, it's in a digital world where, so this is the problem with remote voting as well. If every person gets one stone and you have to come in and you put it in one jar or the other to vote, right? And I know that's analog, but just bear with me. Then you know that only the amount of people that exist got to vote, and you know where every vote came from, right? In this scenario that Facebook's created, I can create a force multiplier with a couple of keystrokes that can do 1 million times the amount that one person could do in an instant.
100%.
You know what I mean? So I'm not sure what you're supposed to even do about that at this point.
I mean, again, I'm going to go back to what I've said every time that we've had these digital discussions. All accounts should have to be linked to a person.
Right.
If you take an account and you link it to a person who has, like, with their identity or whatever, right? Then you take away all, like, every issue that we talk about on social media, there it is. Or 90% of them.
Yeah, and it's like...
like, they verify me on there. But here's the problem with me being verified on Facebook and Instagram. They still don't shut down all the fake accounts.
No, they don't know.
Like, what's the fucking point?
I honestly don't know the answer to that. That is a good question. I don't know the answer to it. I don't know why. They're talking about all of the fake stuff that's getting shared and making it impossible for their content moderators and integrity teams to do their job. Well, it should be, if there's one Dakota Meyer that's verified and anybody else that puts Dakota Meyer as their name and represents themselves, I mean...
And do you not think, like, here's what's even more fucked up, is when I report them, when I report them myself, they'll write me back sometimes and be like, we don't see a problem with this. When they've got the pictures of my kids, same pictures they took off my profile, and they don't see a problem.
Yeah, it should probably. You would think that it would be relatively easy to build an algorithm that detected the name and then this exact same picture is being posted, right? Because the metadata is going to be essentially the same. At any rate, it's a big problem, and I'm not sure anybody really knows how to deal with it at this point. So I like to crowdsource it. I like to hear what people think. Before we get into that, let's talk about how the algorithm works. So in 2017, Facebook was trying to reverse a decline in how much people were posting and talking to each other on the site and introduce the emojis to give engineers more ways to influence interactions. By the way, if their premise is traffic was down, or at least interaction and engagement were down, and they created this stuff to inflate engagement and interaction, and the response to that was a bunch of fake engagement and interaction, they've got a lot of explaining to do to their shareholders about why they've been reporting traffic and engagement numbers that aren't real. You know what I mean? Like, we're getting to the point now where you're talking about fucking fraud.
Not the first time.
No, it's not the first time that Facebook has done this.
They did that with video and murdered a bunch of media companies.
Yeah, they sure did. Facebook Watch was an abject failure, continues to be actually an abject failure. But from 2016 on, they were promoting it like it was the next big thing. They were lying to stock shareholders and lying to the public about what the numbers were, and a lot of companies folded because of it. Facebook is just terrible. Anyways, the angry emoji is just one of the ways that Facebook engineers manipulate the flow of information on the platform, which ultimately affects people's view on current events. So the logic behind the emojis was that reaction emoji was indicative of the post causing a greater emotional reaction in the user than just a like or a dislike. But Facebook wasn't transparent with the public on the importance of these reactions. So there's no way to... If you tell people, if you vote for A, then you get B.
Yeah.
If you vote for C, then you get D. Then people are aware and they behave accordingly, right? Facebook tried to do this where everybody was unaware of it, and some people made just like emojis. Some people, people might react mad when they're actually like, I'm fucking pissed off at how fucking funny.
Well, I mean, dude, you know, there's people like, just look at texting, right? there's some people who send emojis all the time. There's some people who don't ever use fucking emojis. You know what I mean? Like there's all these. There's some people who now use that thumbs up, like where you click on the message and you can pick one of them, right? I mean, people just communicate in different fucking ways, and it's like Facebook. It's I don't know. It's just weird. But you know what I bet it is? Like, 'cause I've tried to figure this out. Like, when you're trying to do marketing and shit like that on Facebook, you have to stay in touch with this, because if not, then you're wasting dollars, right? Here's what I think it is. I think that every time they switch this up, it's when somebody gets promoted.
It's like the good idea theory.
Right? Like I got to come in.
Stamp on whatever,
I got to come in and put my stamp on it. Right?
Yeah, you're probably not wrong about that. Facebook doesn't publish the values its algorithm puts on different kinds of engagements or give specific details about the 10,000 signals its software can take into account when predicting a post's likelihood of generating engagement. Although that's not entirely true. They do tell certain people, like if you spend enough money advertising on their platform, they do tell you how to manipulate the system. Been there, done that. Facebook takes into account numerous factors that add up to a single score that the news feed algorithm generates for each post in the user's feed. So there is your profile, like who you are as a human being and what your behavior on the platform, and then your demographic and psychographic information that they've collected over the years. And then they rank based on that what content you're most likely to engage in most. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess the good news from this is that now that we know, you have the ability to affect what's in your news feed by simply skipping over shit. Instead of angry facing stuff that you know is not true, just skip it and you'll stop seeing it entirely.
You should not just skip it, actually, if it pisses you off or if you know it's like fake news or whatever. Reporting it probably actually won't get you anywhere.
Nope.
What you should do is just say, I see this less. Like hit the little ellipses and say, I don't want to, like on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, it's
Until they change the algorithm, though, to see this less is now the angry emoji as well, right? Because they want you to see it more. If you took the time to click see it less, that means you did something. You engaged on that post in some way still.
But I mean, like, again, like, it's just fucked up. Like, you take my profile as, again, let's go back to that, is, like, it's so, it's hard to even find it.
Yeah. Hard to even find what?
Well, it's hard to even find it because, okay, so now the content that I post, if people like it, well, if Facebook doesn't like it, well, then they start fucking making me harder to find.
Right, yeah, that's right.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, there's no fucking win.
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there.
To the entire piece.
The factors that are taken into account for that single number include how many long comments a post generates, whether the video is live or recorded. Live video gets preferential treatment over recorded video. Whether comments are made in plain text or with cartoon avatars, etc. Replies to a post, which signaled a larger effort than the tap of a reaction button, were weighted even higher, up to 30 times higher than a like or an emoji reaction. So commenting on stuff.
Yeah.
Like when you go into these, when somebody posts some clear misinformation about whatever the fuck it is, and you go in and say, this is stupid, blah, 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 you're actually making it such that you and people who are like you are going to see that more. So maybe you figured it out that it's wrong, but you have to divest from bullshit. You have to completely remove your attention from bullshit. I'm not saying get off platforms entirely, but now that we know this information, you have the ability to fucking manipulate it just as much as Facebook does if you can garner that amount of support. So the algorithm even takes into account the computing load that each post requires and the strength of the user's internet signal. So it's not going to serve you a bunch of HD video if you get shitty internet, because they want you to actually watch it. Now that actually makes sense to me. The score generated is then used to sort the posts, deciding which ones appear at the top and which appear further down the news feed. And remember, your feed in Facebook used to only be people that you were following, right? You wouldn't see anything else. Now it's just a bunch of random horse shit. Depending on the details collected about the post, the effects of the algorithm can echo across the network, shaping whether posts and news feeds are seen by users or not at all. So here's an example of that. If you have a large audience, especially, one of the things, and it's not just Facebook that does this, but Twitter does it to some degree, but more so Instagram and YouTube. You make a post, let's say you got 100,000 people that follow you. You make a post, and it serves that content up to about maybe 3 to 5% of the people on your list at first. And if it gets enough interaction in the first 6 to 8 hours, it serves it to another 10% and then to another 20%, right? So if people are getting tuned up, this is why all these stupid fuck partisan bullshit accounts like Typical Liberal and shit like that get so many clicks. It's not because their content is, and DC Drano too is another one. It's not because their content is compelling. It's not because it's accurate. It's not because it's useful or helpful at all. It's because people are angry about politics, and that kind of bullshit content is rewarded. Honestly,
Yeah, it is.
That's what
like
it
the
is.
emotional, like that kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're just basically helping Facebook and Instagram do what it does. Congratulations, guys. You really did it. Super proud of you. So, anyways, some of the impacts of, well, let's do some ads first, then we'll talk about impacts. Can you put the full thing on the screen here so I can see what the fuck's going on? Let's see here. This is for Friday. Friday makes me think of French fries. McDonald's French fries are probably the best of all the fast food ones. If I'm not out of line for saying that, I hope not. Let's see. Today we've got, obviously we got GhostBed. GhostBed.com/Drinker Bros. They get the best beds in the world. Better than your fucking bed.
Well,
If you're at home not
Yeah.
sleeping in a ghost
Yeah.
bed, then fuck you. No,
Yeah,
it's, they're extremely good beds.
extremely great company as well, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
They really do take care of people.
they do, and got great recoil.
Yeah, good recoil. Good to do puzzles on.
Dude,
you can drink with
I
one
do-
hand and do puzzles with the
I
other.
do fucking puzzles on them all the time.
Yeah, and it's, they've got this bundle deal where it's Q4 now, so it's the holidays. A lot of people make big purchases during the holidays. If you're looking for a bed and a bed frame, you get the adjustable base, you get the mattress, one of their 3 cooling mattresses, and it's 40% off the entire bundle. You get the sheets, the pillows, all that stuff. And if you're not in the market for a mattress right now, I really recommend grabbing the mattress topper. We had a customer not too long ago get one of those and decide to get the bed because it was so good.
Yeah, 20-year warranty back 20-year warranty.
Yeah, 20-year warranty, 101 nights. You can try that bitch out. 36 months, pay as you go. Comes out about $38 an hour, depending on what package you get.
A month.
A month, yeah. So it's a really good deal.
It would 101 days. You might be able to practice sex in it once.
Practice sex. What does
Yeah.
that mean?
Practice.
Like with yourself?
Yeah, I mean, you're not married, so I'm sure you don't have sex because you'd go to hell.
Well, there's no such thing as hell, and I have sex every night. So go to ghostbed.com/drinkerbros and get those deals. Next up, Babbel.com. Use the promo code American. Right now, when you purchase 3-month Babbel subscription, you'll get 3 additional months for free. That's 6 for the price of 3. Babbel's the best language learning software that exists.
Yeah.
We're using it. It's the #1 selling language learning app now. It's way ahead of any of the competition, not just because of the advertising or anything like that, because they actually took the lead in market share before they even started advertising in digital media. The reason is because of the structure. It's one because a bunch of language experts got together and formulated this shit in the way that you actually teach people how to speak efficiently and fluently. And they broke it down. The super smart thing they do is break it down into 15-minute lessons that you can bundle together. So it's got an algorithm that determines which 15-minute lessons go together. When you're going through them every now and again, it's like, hey, like after you finish the lesson, it's like, hey, here's some stuff from 3 lessons ago, because they understand how people learn. It's called recall. You have to learn something, take about 30 minutes off, and then come back and see it again, and it imprints in your memory better. It's just basic science there.
That's why, we do the show and then I call you 30 minutes later so I can be in your brain more.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'd want to be in my brain more, to be honest. But with Babbel, you can choose from 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, and German. I believe Mandarin is on there as well. Their speech recognition technology helps you improve your pronunciation and accent. So that's good, so you don't sound like an idiot when you're trying to speak the language. There's also a lot of other ways other than just the typical lessons to learn with Babbel. They have podcasts you can listen to, games you can play, video stories, even live classes where you can interact with other people. Comes with a 20-day money-back guarantee. Start your language learning journey today with Babbel. Right now, when you purchase 3-month Babbel subscription, you get additional 3 months for free. That's 6 months for the price of 3. Go to Babbel.com and use the promo code American. That's BABBEL.com. Code American. Babbel, language for life.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I like that company.
¿Cómo estás?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Facebook's not, though. So
Yeah, Facebook sucks.
here are some of the impacts of Facebook's algorithm over the years. So for 3 years, Facebook systematically boosted the most inflammatory posts on its platform, spreading it to a wider audience. They did this on purpose.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
The effects included whether the posts were reputable or poorly researched, political or not, and whether you see more posts from your friends or from groups Facebook wants you to join, or if what you see will likely anger you. So they were intentionally, the same thing that Jack Dorsey does. They put shit in front of you that makes you angry because if you see something that you basically agree with or something, you may like it and then keep moving on. If you see something you hate, you're probably going to comment on it.
For sure.
Right? And that keeps you engaged longer, and it makes them more money in their bottom
I mean,
line.
look, controversy sells.
Yeah. If it bleeds, it leads, right? That's what the news people say. The process was pretty consistent with a pattern seen in the documents in which Facebook set the weights very high on new features the company was trying to encourage users to adopt, which that is what it is. I mean, you're going to promote your new product, I guess, more than you would your old product because you want it to be successful. But by training the algorithm to optimize for these features, Facebook's engineer ensured they would be widely used and seen, which means people are just fucking angry and spreading misinformation constantly on there. And it's affected multiple elections now. So the way the algorithm was trained also ensured that anyone posting on Facebook with the intention of researching or reaching a large audience as possible would inevitably catch on that certain types of posts work better than others. And these are the people that on Facebook and Instagram that we were just talking about. And it's not just people on the right. It's people on the left. It's people just trying to get you mad about anything so they can sell you something even if it's bullshit.
Yep.
At one point, Zuckerberg even encouraged users to reply to other users' posts using the angry reaction to signal they dislike something, which would ultimately lead to the algorithm showing users that content more often. So
That makes no sense, right? You'd think, like,
Yeah.
I mean,
So what Zuckerberg said was, if you don't like seeing that content, just dislike it, and with the implication that you would see less. But in fact, their algorithm was designed to make you see that more. So whenever this guy says that he didn't know what was going on,
Yeah, right.
It's just the machine learning, man. No, they did this all on purpose. This guy is a piece of shit.
yeah.
As revealed by disclosures made to the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, and provided to Congress in redacted form for some reason, Facebook faced much internal debate over the way emojis boosted posts. A lot of their employees were fucking pissed off about it. Documents show Facebook employees on its, quote, integrity teams repeatedly raising flags about the human costs of specific elements on the ranking system.
So even he's got his own team that he put in place to watch these things, saying it's wrong, and them not doing nothing about it.
For years. So I'm sure they didn't really care about it until Trump got elected. And then they were like, oh, they fucking,
Yeah.
like something I don't like happened. Now I'm mad about it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So it wasn't the principle. It was just,
The person.
yeah, you're an idiot. Facebook employees also debated the importance of anger in society, with one staffer saying anger-generated posts might be essential to protest movements against corrupt regimes. Facebook whistleblower Francis Hogan, I don't know how you say that, testified before British Parliament on this past Monday, saying anger and hate is the easiest way to grow on Facebook, and by extension, Instagram as well. Although that's not in the quote, but that is the case for sure. These documents also show Facebook employees debating the company's values and advocating for tweaks that might prevent the algorithm from exacerbating problems. Facebook carried out a set of experiments where they boosted some people more frequently into the feeds of randomly chosen friends, and then once the experiment ended, they examined whether the pair of friends continued communication. Due to the experiment, a researcher hypothesized that Facebook could cause relationships to become closer. Facebook also found that, by the way, I don't want Facebook trying to manipulate my personal life
Yeah.
for good or bad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really care about your intent. Why don't you just provide us a place to look at cat memes and shut the fuck up? You know what I mean? What the fuck is this shit? Anyways, Facebook also found that interaction from a user's friends on the site would create a cycle that pushed users to post even more, right? So it's like the opposite of the bystander effect. The more frequently somebody else is posting garbage, the more socially acceptable it comes to post that garbage. Like, well, and then it becomes pressure. Why aren't you posting more garbage?
Yeah.
Like, why aren't you anti-racist? Why aren't you anti? Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, the Wall Street Journal reported that Facebook's greater emphasis on comments, replies to comments, and replies to reshare further incentivize divisive political posts. We all know that. I mean, that's the fucking low-hanging fruit here. That's the low-hanging fruit. It's the secondary and tertiary effects
For sure.
that really become problematic, and that's what I'm talking about. It's when this stuff bubbles over into actual life. A lot of people said, like Dave Chappelle, it's like, I don't really get bent out of shape about what people say on Twitter because Twitter's not a real place. Now, if everybody, I'm not a fan, obviously, of the social score. You know what I mean? Like the social popularity score or whatever you want to call it that we've seen in Black Mirror that China's tried to implement and things like that. But it would be very interesting if everybody had to wear a shirt around every day with their worst tweet on it, like the meanest thing they've said that day it's just on them. You know what I mean? Because I guarantee you, people wouldn't be saying shit like that in public. All these fucking turds on Twitter, all these fucking like skinny white kids that are so tough on Twitter. You know what I mean? Or these celebrities who think they're fucking tough about stuff. Or Chrissy Teigen talking about raping children and shit, like what she's want to do. Or people openly supporting things like that cuties bullshit on Netflix. I guarantee you they wouldn't be doing that in public.
No fucking way.
So, obviously there's a lot of problems here. The first attempt to fix the weighting of the angry emoji came in 2018 when Facebook lowered it to 4 times the value instead of 5. The fuck, dude? That's like somebody's on fire, you know what I mean? And you pour like a cup of water on their head, like, hey, you feeling any better?
Yeah.
How's that fire going?
Are you okay now?
Yeah. They kept the same weight, however, of all the other emojis. So Facebook found that anger was the least used out of all the emojis at 429 million clicks per week, compared with 63 billion like reactions, 11 billion love reactions. Although anger was the least used, the angry emoji was found to be used much more frequently on problematic posts such as low-quality civic news, meaning misinformation about fucking government and political positions. Civic misinformation, explicitly civic toxicity, health misinformation, and anti-vax content.
Yeah, right.
So people were responding angrily to anti-vax content. How brainwashed are you that you're fucking taking the time out of your day to respond angrily to people questioning whether or not the government should be allowed to mandate things? That's weird. Anyways, Facebook determined that the anger emoji had begun to be used as a political weapon. I mean, they probably should have figured that out immediately. But when boosts, like those for the emojis, competed with quote-unquote deboosts or demotions meant to limit harmful content. And by the way, those deboosts or demotions are manual. That's like somebody going in and, from Facebook's team and saying, I don't like this person's content.
So they're picking, yeah.
Yeah. And we know that Instagram had a whitelist as well and a blacklist. Like people like us, we post shit, it gets shut down. If certain people can post whatever the fuck they want. That's why you've seen complete nudes from some celebrities get leaked because they posted them on the wrong thing. They were probably trying to do something else. Or super fucked up content is because they were whitelisted. Anything they post gets posted without any kind of review. We've already looked at all this. Yeah, anyways, when boosts like those for emojis competed with the deboosts or demotions meant to limit harmful content, the math used resulted in further problems when it came to protecting users. If the algorithm determined a post was quote-unquote bad, Facebook engineers could cut its score in half, but in most instances of the posts, it would push it further down the user's feed, but not eliminate it entirely.
So I mean, like, so basically, we all have a score.
A social credit score, yeah, based on the whims of Facebook and the independent fact. I mean, if they're talking about misinformation, who's determining that? Is it the independent fact checkers at USA Today and Snopes and these other companies that clearly lie constantly? So it's called GIGO in data: garbage in, garbage out. If you put garbage data in, or if the mechanism that filters and processes the data is bad, you're going to get garbage. It's all garbage, right?
So stupid.
So while the average post earned a score of a few hundred, some posts were able to get scores in the billions, making cutting the score in half useless. And in April of 2019, Facebook put a mechanism in place to demote content that was receiving disproportionately angry reactions, but documents show what the effects of the change were. By July of 2019, 2 months later, a proposal began to circulate to cut the value of several emoji reactions down to that of just a normal like.
So like doesn't mean shit anymore.
Well, it means 1, whereas angry means 5 or 4.
So we just need people...
Or 30.
So we need people to just fucking say that they hate our shit.
I guess, yeah. The angry reaction, along with the wow and haha, continued to appear more frequently on content that was considered toxic or misinformation. Another proposal from late 2019 lobbied to change the love and sad emojis to have the values of 4 likes because they were considered safer. The most recent change to the value of the angry emoji came last year, 2020, after it was determined that users consistently didn't like it when their posts received angry reactions, whether from friends or from random people. As a result, Facebook cut the value of the angry emoji down to the value of 1.5 times that of a like. Finally, in September of last year, Facebook stopped using the angry reaction as a signal of what users wanted and cut its weight to 0, completely taking it out of the equation. So I wonder, obviously this would be anecdotal, but since September of last year, have you seen less stupid bullshit on Facebook? Because I certainly have not.
Nope.
I've seen, if anything more, I've seen a lot more fact check, especially on Instagram. I've seen a lot more fact checked stuff that's fact checked by dubious sources. And when you click through to their fact check, usually it's not that it's not true. It's missing context.
I get shit from people I don't even follow.
Yeah, missing context, meaning let somebody from the left come over here and explain to you why you're wrong about this.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is my life, bro. I know exactly what happened. I was there. I don't need you to fucking contextualize it for me. At any rate, at the same time, Facebook boosted the weight of love and sad to be equal to the value of 2 likes. Facebook also made adjustments to the value of live streaming videos, favoring it over text and photo posts, so its value could be as high as 600 times the quality or the value of 1 like. So live streaming video is 600 times as valuable to their algorithm as text or photo post, or a like on one of those, rather. The change helped cause, quote, ultra-rapid virality for several low-quality viral videos, according to internal documents. And live videos eventually went on to play a large role in political events, including the riots following the death of George Floyd and the riot at the Capitol on January 6th. The January 6th riot led to Facebook, led them to cap the value of live videos to 60 times the value of a like. So Facebook is just basically doing everything they can to manipulate American society.
Yeah.
And they've removed, and just like Apple, they've removed certain things in their Chinese models so as not to offend the Chinese. Like Apple removed the Bible and Quran apps from the Apple Store, from the App Store, because they didn't want to offend China. So I wonder, I mean, Facebook, it seems like there are people that are good inside the organization that are trying to do stuff. And maybe it's a ship that's just too large to steer at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, you hear all these people bitch about Facebook and social media, blah, 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 right? Well, then stop using it.
Yeah.
People are addicted. They're addicted. So, like, this is what controls. I was hearing a study the other day that where they're calling people like that we're like snails. And so we're like snails because now we live in this. You can't get rid of it. It's like our home.
Yeah.
Everything's in here. You can't get rid of it. And so people would talk about like, oh, you hear people talk all the time about, oh, Facebook's listening to me because now I see ads come up. Well, then do something about it. Facebook's doing this. Well, then stop using the platform. Delete the platform. Get rid of it. But people can't do it. They've got them addicted. They've got them hooked. They're just like drug dealers. And now guess what they can do? They can manipulate them, control them, and do whatever the fuck they want.
Right. And they also selectively apply all this stuff based on the bottom line. It's based on money. So, for example,
dude, it's not even money. It's based on one guy. I mean, who's the majority of people in tech? Which way do they lean?
Well, yeah, they're certainly left. But I mean, I think
Right.
in a lot of ways. So here's an example. In a video posted to Facebook in November of 2020, an extremist priest called for Hindus to rise up and begin killing Muslims in India. Right? Now, that video stayed up for a long time. As a matter of fact, it's still up now and has over 1.4 million views. Employees have repeatedly reported this to the company, and for some reason, they haven't taken it down.
Dude.
Worth noting too that Muslims in India are like the lowest caste. So
Yeah.
it'd be like if someone came on and was like, kill all black people or something.
Yeah, or whatever. I mean, this is like the.
I mean, dude, listen.
They say that that political sensitivities played a role, meaning that Facebook doesn't want to get banned in India.
Let's remember this though. How fast can they shut one of our posts down?
With a click of a button.
I know, but it usually doesn't take very long, does it? After we post it.
No, I think for people like us that are on, I don't want to say something conspiratorial like watch lists, but we do know that there are some accounts that are blacklisted and some that are whitelisted. That is not a theory anymore. About a month ago or a month and a half ago, that is just evidence now. We have evidence of this stuff now. So yeah, like this.
I mean, it's
sometimes before anybody even sees a goddamn thing.
I mean, it's an issue. It's an issue whenever you have to type in Dakota Meyer 031 for me to even pop up and search.
Yeah, and it's not like
Right.
you say any super fucked up shit.
I don't,
here.
but here's my point. ISIS was fucking selling women on Facebook.
Yeah, they can stop me from saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't mandate people's medical procedure. What?
I was just going to comment on what Dakota said, bringing up around selling people on Facebook and their AI. They're actually having a huge amount of trouble with non-English language versions of the app. So Myanmar specifically, the Philippines, places like that, and they're supposedly selling maids, is what is the information, the articles that are being written about it. But we all kind of know what they're selling here. So apparently the AI isn't as powerful in other languages, and if you're wanting to get around it and do things, that's how you do it. So it's only in the English that they're having as much control,
Makes sense.
even internally.
Now, we've dealt with this sometime in the 20th century with Germany. When we discovered all the documents that had previously been hidden or attempted to be destroyed from German scientists, particularly Otto Ambrose and some of those other assholes that were doing medical experiments on people.
Yeah.
We found that they used the phrase, the word are being treated as a guinea pig, like a test subject, came from Nazi Germany because they called human beings guinea pigs, right? Like they intentionally use misleading language. Like he's talking about, they call them maids or whatever. They intentionally use misleading language to determine this stuff. Now, hire the goddamn NSA or use your own intelligence service if you're Facebook or whatever to figure out what people are doing. It's possible for somebody to run an ongoing criminal enterprise that sells human beings and traffics children. But I can't say that maybe the government shouldn't be determining what chemicals I put into my fucking body.
I mean,
You know what
again, though,
There's a big fucking problem here.
There's no accountability on these tech companies.
Yeah.
There's none. I mean, you look at Twitter. How does ISIS communicate and have a fucking, or the Taliban have accounts, but a former president of the United States can't have an account?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I mean, I frankly don't really give a shit about Trump and all his nonsense, but it's a big fucking problem.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, yeah, I don't give a fuck either. But I'm just saying the point is like, how is this standard?
I don't know. And it's weird. I mean, people still, boomers especially, like Facebook. I don't know why. Young people, for the most part, don't seem to use it that much.
Yeah, I don't use it.
But the boomer crowd is really into it, and polling done recently about Facebook kind of gives you an insight into why polls are always wrong, because 55% of people. This is from October 29th to November 1st among U.S. adults. 55% of people said they are either very or somewhat favorable, have a somewhat favorable view of Facebook, while only 39% view it negatively. After all this shit has come out about how they have been manipulating people and letting people get trafficked and blah, 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 and all the shit that Zuckerberg does. But for some, they hate Zuckerberg. 25% of people think that Meta is a good name. 40% think it's stupid. 32% like the new logo, and 30% don't. But Zuckerberg has a negative rating of 32, with only 22% viewing him favorable and 54% having an unfavorable view of him. So the guy that's setting all the policy has a higher rating than, or lower rating than the company itself.
So let me,
how does that make sense?
So let me ask you this. Like, I get this whole stand for the vaccine, or for, to not get it. But don't you think this is fucking us over more than the vaccine? Don't you think this is more harming to us and our future and the future of the United States of America? Don't you think this is more of a Facebook itself is more of a fucking threat than the fucking vaccine?
Well, I don't think a vaccine is a threat at all.
But you get my point. But you may see my point. Like,
I think
if you were going to stand for something, if you were going to stand against something, it would be for everyone to fucking get rid of this.
Yeah,
fucking
I don't think you need to delineate between the two. Government overreach and authoritarianism is just as dangerous as corporate overreach. And you're talking about the difference between the left and the right. The left has been very suspicious of corporatism over the years, and the right has been very suspicious of government over the years. And now nobody seems to be suspicious of anything, and then a very small portion of people seem to be suspicious about everything.
But people talk about, when's it going to be time to get our guns? When's it going to be time to stand?
Well, you
right?
can't shoot Facebook.
Well, no, but guess what? What is one of the largest platforms that's allowing the government to overreach and get more power?
Yeah, and then
what is fueling that?
Assisting with the spread of misinformation as well. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on there. I mean, it's certainly a force multiplier, but you can't
name something that's doing it. Name something that's doing it more than this thing right here.
I'm not sure it's helpful to separate the two. These are two assholes fighting against people in the same.
I mean, you're just talking about fuel and gas. I mean, you're talking about the flame and gas.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So you're talking about the government is the flame, and Facebook has built a mechanism as a megaphone to control the message that comes out of it and what and how people consume it. Like you have literally gotten in between and been able to manipulate everything.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was talking to. Bob and I were talking to Will Witt from Prager about this yesterday. Think about the healthcare debate. So for years, the right's position has been that they want private healthcare. They want companies to run it because the free market will keep prices low and provide better care and blah, blah, blah. And the left has been like, well, you can't trust corporations, so the government needs to get involved. And normal, reasonable people are like, well, corporations are the ones who've driven the fucking price of drugs so high that 83% of all bankruptcies filed in America because of unpaid medical expenses, bitch. So you trust corporations to handle this shit? And every time a new conglomerate buys up a full hospital system in a town, their fucking quality of healthcare goes way down and the price goes way up.
For sure.
So you can't trust them, and you damn sure can't trust the government. They couldn't even get the fucking website right. You know what I mean? So that is it's easy to just tear everything down and not have some kind of solution for it. I'm frankly not sure what the solution is, but I damn sure know it's not to trust the government or not to trust corporations. You know what I mean? And the government has been in bed with the telecommunications industry since it's existed. And it just morphed itself on to social media when it existed. And it's not going to stop.
And it only gets worse because the only people who will rise to power are the ones who are willing to play the game.
Yep. That's it.
And that's the problem, right? But when you flip the fucking board over and there's no game to play.
Well, I guess I'll borrow from Buddhism. If a game is impossible to win, the only way to win is to not play, right? Which means put your phone down. Now, we've done this for gas prices before. We've had nationwide gas strikes where, hey, 2 weeks from now on Thursday, nobody's going to buy gas, right? And yeah, a lot of people go out and buy more gas the day before or the day after or whatever the case is, but it definitely hurts their bottom line. Why don't we have a nationwide Facebook strike where we go a full weekend without going on to logging onto Facebook or Instagram at all?
Because it's like you going to a drug addict and you saying, hey, why don't you just not do drugs this week?
Well, we should try it. We should let me think of when a good date where it would actually be meaningful to do something like that. And we'll try to organize it and get some of these other people involved. Now, I know a lot of the people, to be frank, a lot of the people in the influencer community, people that have social media accounts and make money off it the way that we do, won't do it because they care more about money than anything else. Mm-hmm. Frankly, I think they're a bunch of fucking cunts. Just as bad as Zuckerberg. They would be doing the same goddamn thing Zuckerberg is doing right now if they had the ability to do so. But now they're getting paid to say he's a dick. That's it. I know a lot of these people are just fucking scumbags. But I don't give a fuck about social media except for looking at, I mean, to be honest, I get high at night and watch dog videos, funny dog videos.
Yeah.
For like the last 15 minutes before I go to sleep. I guess I'll just have to fucking watch them somewhere else.
I'll send you, dude. I'll send you pics.
I'll just get my dogs all hyped up and let them fight each other, and I'll get high and watch that.
I'll send you pictures of me.
I'm definitely willing to delete Facebook if you guys let me keep my drugs. And should we just start like group texts again? Just like really big group texts where we just send each other memes.
I did see
and
a funny
photos.
meme the other day where a guy every day sends a new top 10 MySpace list of all his friends in a group text to all of his friends. He's like, hey, Trevor gave me a ride the other day, so he's up at number 1. You better let me borrow your truck.
Oh, I seen that, yeah.
It's funny, yeah. Anyways, yeah, we should, let me think about it. We'll figure out a way to boycott social media for a day somewhere and try to pump it up. Maybe we'll do, let's see, what would be a good day to fuck with their business? Maybe Black Friday or Cyber Monday.
Oh, yeah.
Cyber
Black
Monday would be
Friday.
a good one. Cyber Monday, what day is Thanksgiving this year? Let's look it up.
It's on a Thursday.
Shut the fuck up, Bob. I'm going to stab you.
Dude, Bob.
It's the
who asked you?
25th, so Cyber Monday will be November the 29th. Let's shoot for November the 29th and see what we can do about that. All right. Until then, we'll see you in hell.
See you in hell.